Hi, today we're going to read The Witch of Hissing Hill. Far back in the hill country is Hissing Hill. It's a bare, lonely spot with one twisted house and a tall fir tree behind it. And once upon a time, the hill was a swarm with black witch cats. Cats arching their backs on the rooftop, cats chasing up the fir tree, cats yelling on a crooked fence post and hissing at every corner of the shakily house, and all of them black, black, black. For there lived a wicked old witch named Sizzle. She had strings of black hair and long, skinny feet. She could figure out more meanness than any witch in the hills. Her name was Sizzle the Witch. But meanness wasn't her main business. Sizzle raised witch cats. That was her fame. Witches came from miles around to buy their cats from Sizzle. Her cats were the witchiest, the very worst wonderful witch cats in the world. Their hisses were jagged in their sharp white teeth. Their howls made the blood shiver. Their eyes gleamed yellow with hate. And definitely, most surely, Sizzle's cats were the blackest of all witch cats, blacker than Halloween midnight. They were blacker than chimney soot, blacker than the bottom of Sizzle's cook pot. Best, they all knew the wicked ways of witch cats. Sizzle taught them. She taught them spitting and scratching and scary black slinking. She taught them to cross people's path for bad luck. She taught them to yell, and most important, she taught the cats staring long staring out of unblinking eyes. Each cat sat on the witch's hearth, watching her pot of magic brew. And then for when a witch mixes magic, she needs a black cat to stare at the pots. It's the look from the cat's eyes that makes magic work, that makes the spell gel. So Sizzle's cats flourished on Hissing Hill. Then came Gold. When Gold was born, her mother backed off and hissed in horror at the sight. Her only child was yellow, not black. Oh, the shame of it all. At first she hid the fluff of yellow so Sizzle wouldn't know. But that was a mistake, for now Gold had a chance to grow. Came the day when Sizzle spied the yellow kitten bouncing out from under the bed. And oh, the screaming and the scolding. The old witch was so mad that her screeches lifted her 2 feet off the floor. Gold's mother was so ashamed that she lashed her tail around herself 3 times and just purely disappeared. Gold purred and wove her yellow striped tail around the witch's bony ankles. Sizzle's shrieks were so horrible she sailed right up to the ceiling and whacked her head. Terrible, she said. That cat's nice. Old Sizzle tore at her strings of hair. What if this yellow female grew up and had kittens? She'd ruin the stock. Who ever heard of a yellow striped black witch cat who was half nice? What self-respecting witch cat would buy her cats? The witchery. Gold must go. Sizzle plopped down on the floor. Grabbing her broom, he shoved Gold out the door. She shoved Gold out the door. Out of my house, she cried. Now Gold was yellow and Gold was nice, but she had a bit of mustard in her yellow for spice. She skipped away from the broom, and with a flick of her tail, she tickled Sizzle's feet. Ha ha ha, oh ha ha ha, cackled the old witch, hopping up and down to get away from the tickling. She swatted Gold with the broom. Gold just winked one eye and flipped her tail, and the broom straws turned into yellow feathers. Scream, scream, how? Sizzle's very best magical broom. She would have killed Gold right there if she could. But everyone knows you can't kill a witch cat. Witch cats only get older and disappear. Gold sniffed at Sizzle's toes and slid her tail over them. Sizzle's feet always hurt, but Gold soothing tale was making the ache go away. Sizzle almost purred with delight. Then, "Oh no," she cried, "don't you come smoothing out to me, you nasty yellow cat." Just then there was a rush sound in the sky over the fir trees. Flew 2 witches on their brooms. "Misery," cried Sizzle, "they'll see this yellow cat and never trust my stock of black witch cats." Pitching up some magic salt, she sprinkled it on Gold. "Heckada-beckada," she mumbled, chanting a hasty spell, and Gold turned to a small yellow pillow. Sizzle tossed it on her cot and hurried outside. Crackle whump. The old witch Hagglestone landed in Sizzle's herb patch, crushing the bushes. Witch Hagglestone was a big bossy witch who didn't care what trouble she caused. Witch Flummery wavered down on her broom, making a bumpy landing. "I came to pick a new cat," said old witch Hagglestone. She stumped about the yard, looking for one to suit her. Witch Flummery fluttered after her. A snarl of cats were quarreling under the fir tree. Witch Hagglestone picked the winner. He was a tough Tom, fighting notched ears, named Old Scratch. On a fence post, Witch Flummery found a slanted-eyed Jezebel. Now they would take their cats and go? Not go near the yellow pillow at all? No, the visiting witches wanted to test their cat's powers by staring. Witch Hagglestone ordered, "Mix up some magic, let's see how these cats work." She started for the house, but Sizzle rushed ahead of her. Good, Gold was still a pillow on the cot. So Sizzle threw herbs and lizard skins into her pot and mixed up a brew of hate medicine. Flummery flopped down on the cot, and the pillow meowed. "Oh dear," Flummery cried, peering about. "Did I sit on a cat?" "Misery, misery," whispered Sizzle, for the yellow cat was putting out a tail. Sizzle threw another pillow on the cot before nearsighted Flummery could see it. Now the pot of hate medicine was bubbling angrily. Witch Sizzle set Old Scratch on the hearth to do the staring job. The magic stew sucked and it seethed. Old Scratch stared at it from the hearth under the cot. The pillow now had 2 yellow eyes. Old Scratch stared at it from the hearth, and under the cot, the pillow now had 2 eyes. They too stared at the pot. At last, the brew gave a loud pop, and a horrid green steam went up. The signal it was done. "Fine," said old Witch Hagglestone. "I'll take Old Scratch." "Now let's try out Flummery's cat. How does she do on spells?" asked the fluttery witch. Sizzle felt better. Now the hate medicine was done, and old Hagglestone was satisfied. Spells are that cat's specialty," she bragged. "We'll just turn day into night." The visiting witches drew in their breaths, for that was the hardest spell of all. Jezebel sat in front of Sizzle, staring with eyes like yellow moons. The witches whirled around, waved their arms, and began to murmur the spell. As she shrieked the last word, she pointed a bony finger at the sun through the window, and pop! Jezebel turned into a yellow cat, and so did Old Scratch. Oh no, yellow cats. The sun kept shining, same as ever. Hagglestone screamed, and Flummery hid her face in the cloak. "Oh, yellow," shrieked old Hagglestone. "You fool, you've made yellow witch cats. Don't you know? Yellow witch cats are good witch cats." Grabbing a chance to ward off the goodness, the 2 witches whooshed away on their brooms. Sizzle stood horrified, looking at 2 yellow cats on her hearth. Of course, yellow witch cats are good witch cats, full of powerful magic. Then Gold, all yellow again, came purring out from under the cot and wove her tail around the witch's feet. She was a nice cat. What a nice little cat she was, soothing away the ache. No, Sizzle stopped herself. Nasty good cat, worrisome troublemaker. She tried to kick Gold, but somehow her foot wouldn't do it. By witchery, the cat's goodness was rubbing off. Quickly, Sizzle drank a whole cupful of hate medicine, but sure and true, Gold was a good witch cat, and good yellow magic is stronger than bad black magic. She stirred from her eyes. She had changed the brew in the pot. It wasn't hate medicine at all. It was love medicine. Sizzle felt a smile plump out her face. Her bony claw fingers smoothed into softness as she reached down to stroke Gold's back. The wicked old witch had turned into a loving, good witch. Then Sizzle brought all of her black cats. She made a spell with Gold's help, and pop, 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 every witch cat turned yellow and good. The cats purred and they played, and they all chased their tails, and they all had mustard in their yellow for spice. Their winks in the eyes meant magic for fun. Sizzle still raises witch cats, yellow witch cats, which tricked and tumbled now on Hissing Hill. Now good witches and fairy godmothers came from miles around to buy her cats, for Sizzle's good cats are her fame. But if you ever see a yellow cat purring and winking a gold eye, watch out, for you never know what a yellow witch cat will do.